When I was little, my uncle taught me how to play Texas Hold'em when I was with my cousin. We were kind of bored. And believe it or not, I actually beat him my first time ever playing. Now, I like to think that it was because I'm just a natural player, but really I just got lucky and he probably let me win. But at the time, I didn't know what risk versus reward really was. I didn't understand it yet. But the game itself really helped me learn that concept. And in college, many college students often have frequent games of poker, just for fun and stuff, not actually gambling money. So this skill is actually quite useful. For those of you that don't know how to play, this will hopefully introduce you to a new game that you'll like. And for those of you that do know how to play, hopefully it's a good review of technical terms and stuff that even I forgot, and I learned through pokerlistings.com that gave me a lot of, has a comprehensive overview of the game itself. But specifically, so knowing how to play poker, or specifically Texas Hold'em, is pretty useful for social situations and for learning some basic math skills and learning about how people reason or logic behind decisions. So the goal of the game is to create the best hand of 5 cards that you can. And there's a hierarchy or a ranking of all these cards here. And if 2 players have the same hand, then the winner is determined by who has the highest ranking cards, 2 being the lowest, aces being the highest. And the game is played in rounds, also called hands, and after each round, all the cards are gathered up and redealt. And there are rounds of betting and also rounds of putting where the dealer puts out cards in the middle of the table, called the flop, the river, and then the turn and the river. Now, the table cards are really useful for guessing because there's 52 cards in each deck, 13 cards of each suit, and 4 cards of each kind. So when all the cards are on the table, it's pretty easy to guess on what your opponents have based on how much they're betting and what they're playing, what's on the board. Some people realize the learning potential of this game, including Harvard Law School professor Charles Nesson, who actually has a club in Harvard for poker. And he describes the game as less of just learning basic statistics and more of understanding human logic and reasoning, and quote, being used as a powerful tool at all levels of academia and secondary education. So let's go through a hand. So the dealer deals out 2 cards to each person. These are your personal cards. And here I get a 10 and a 6. And when you look at these cards, you can choose to play it or not play the hand. And this is called the ante. The ante is basically a fee to play the hand that all players have to give before any cards are put on the table in the middle as the community cards. Next comes the flop once everyone puts in the ante. Now here, I have a 10 of diamonds and there's a 7 and 9 of diamonds on the table. And a flush is when you have 5 cards of the same suit. It's a pretty high hand. So I'm literally looking for that. I'm really looking for that. So I decide to try and milk some money from my opponents as much as I can. So I put out a small bet. And betting forces the other players to make a decision. They can either call my bet, which is putting in the same amount, say 3, or they can raise my hand, which is putting in the same amount and putting in a higher amount of money, forcing me to call or raise, or they can fold, which is quitting the hand to save their money. Next comes the turn. I'm excited to see the next diamond come out. And then the river, which gives me the full 5-card flush. Now, I also know that my opponents could have a straight, which is 5 cards in consecutive order, all in a row. But I'm not really worried because, as you can see, the flush at number 5 is higher than the straight at number 6. So, next comes the showdown. And say I'm playing with Chandler. Chandler, of course, comes out with the straight, and I have the flush, so I win all the money in the pot. And this game is really fun because it's a lot of fun to play with your friends and lure them into thinking that they have the upper hand, literally, And once the showdown comes out, you throw down your cards, you scrape in all that sweet, sweet money as loudly as you can. But it's not all about math and reading people. This game is about having fun. It takes hours to play, but all those hours are often filled with friendly conversation or music and such. But I hope you guys try out the game and you like it. And remember to make sure that the risk is worth the reward. Thank you.